Artichokes are one of those items that if I see them at the store and they're massive and big like this and on sale, I love to get. If you're just meeting me, my name is Amy Cross, and this is the Cross Legacy, where I teach you how to save money on groceries. I'm the best-selling author of the Zero Waste Produce Guide, and I even had a TED Talk talking about produce. Our grocery budget is $135 per person per month in our family, and currently it's just my husband and I living here in the house, even though our family size has drastically changed over the years, raising our own kids, then moving off to college, being foster parents, and even having our grandma live with us. I have found over the last 2 decades that this grocery budget is what works best for our family, and I haven't had to increase the budget at all. One of the ways that I'm able to stick to that grocery budget is by staying out of the grocery store, and I love fresh produce items that I can get to stay fresh for almost a month. Artichokes are one of those items that I don't necessarily eat in the first 2 weeks after we went to the grocery store. I can keep these fresh for weeks, and I will oftentimes push them out later into our grocery shopping cycle. And nowadays that we have moved to a new house and closer to our kiddos who really love artichokes, this is a great thing that I can make for dinner when they're over and we can all enjoy and share together. One of my kiddos is a vegetarian but still eats dairy items, and so we will serve this oftentimes with a high protein spinach dip, so it ends up being a complete meal. And I just filmed a video on the high protein spinach dip that's up on the channel, so make sure that you're checking it out. Now let's get into artichokes. When you bring these home, you want to make sure that you're cutting off the bottom of the stem. This is the vascular system of the plant, and it's how it soaks up water. So just like you would buy fresh roses and put them in a vase, you want to think about the same thing when you are storing artichokes. So we are going to take this very dried, calloused over end, and we are going to cut on this one. The first time I'm going to cut about a 1/2 inch because it's so dry. And then I'm going to put it in a jar with some filtered water. It's really important it's filtered water or water that you would drink when you're doing this. Our tap water has too much chlorine in it, which will kill any plants. About every 10 days or so, you just want to trim off a 1/4 inch of the bottom of the stem, and then make sure that water is covering the bottom of the stem so it can keep soaking up the water. And this will keep your artichokes fresh for over a month in the refrigerator if you're using this technique. So we cut the one that had the longest stem about a 1/2 inch, but I really love to be able to show that it really only needed a 1/4 inch off of it, and it would totally open up that whole vascular system of the plant. And then this way it's going to be able to soak up some water. And I also want to make sure if there's any leaves down here on the stem that will be sitting in the water, that I want to pull those off. So this is the way it will sit in my fridge. I normally kind of tuck it towards the back of the fridge so we don't knock it over. You can also use a shorter, squattier jar, like a jam jar, when you're doing this if you want it to fit better into your refrigerator. Or you can put it in a bowl and making sure that there's water at the bottom and that the stem is completely in the water so it keeps drinking the water. When I go to cook these, I normally go and I cut off the top part of the artichoke, which is the most pointy of the thorns that are on there. And then sometimes I will go around the artichoke with some shears and I will snip just the top of the pointy ends so we don't poke our fingers. I have found the easiest way to cook artichokes over the years is to do it in an Instapot. It only needs to be in there for 12 minutes. I put a little bit of liquid at the bottom of the pot, then put the trivet in, and then put the artichokes on top. And normally I will squeeze on some lemon juice then, and it cooks in just 12 minutes. I find it's much easier than boiling them and keep trying to bob them down in the pan so all of the sides cook. Some other items that I store in the same exact way are broccoli when I have them, and asparagus and cilantro and parsley. This is my Zero Waste Produce Guide that goes through 75 produce items A to Z, teaching all of the tips that I've learned over my lifetime to keep produce fresh for weeks. This book is listed in the description with a discount code, so make sure that you're checking it out. And I would love to know which produce item you're throwing away the most.